they wanted Lifestealer even before the mag came out, right? Considering they also banned Enigma last, it makes a lot of sense. And then the mag did not deter them from going that direction, so yeah, I should be very confident. I do think that now that I'm looking at it in the game, where you kind of get a more of a different look at how the lineups match up in terms of just visually how the heroes look next to each other, I do think the drafts look pretty even, and both drafts look very balanced and sort of sort of well-rounded. You know, there's not a lack of team fight on either. Both has team fight, both has damage, both has stuns and catch, setups, strong lanes. So it might actually be a close one here.
Let's have a look. Both teams with the smoke, ready to try and look for the early action. Good wraparound coming in from NAVI Jr. And let's see who smoke's going to pop first. Bottega. Looks like they're sort of aware that this kind of angle of attack could be coming in. Yellow Submarine staying grouped up themselves. Bottega. And it's going to have the smoke dispelled. They're going to be aware that they're around one another. There's Loopsy and Jakoda just going to be able to push back around the runes. Just going to be the 2 for 2. See them try and chase down Bottega. See what they can do about this. The blood grenade dropped down. Impalement arts coming in as well, but the backup's there from Loopsy and Jakoda. So Navi Jr. not going to get the first blood quite here, as they will be chased back out towards the top. I mean, looking at the lane setups, it does seem like we've got a lot of early game battlers. I mean, is there any one of these lanes in particular that you feel is going to be the nastiest? I mean, Loopsy up top. It's going to go for the Shadow Realm TP. That will get him out in time. But yeah, is there anyone going to suffer during these lanes, you imagine?
Right. I think top lane is going to potentially be a brawl, right? We have Undying against the Axe. Both heroes being very strong early on and very, you know, ready to take the fight to the enemy. So same goes for Batrider, to be honest. So this is probably the lane where we might see the first blood. I mean, even bottom lane as well. You're gonna have Ringmaster and Dark Willow fighting for the early region. So that could also happen something down here. Explosive lanes all around, I would say. Really quickly though, I think the kind of interesting smoke battle level 1, which kind of shows why teams are doing this smoke level 1, even though they're not necessarily going for any first blood or going for any kind of aggressive play. They just smoke and sit in their own jungle, right, for the wisdom rune, for the bounty rune, just so that they know if somebody's coming, their smoke is gonna pop, right, just to prevent anything kind of gonna catch them off guard and put them in a bad spot before the laning phase.
Both managing to keep it safe with that, make sure that no one's going to drop quite yet. And yeah, but would you imagine as well with the way that the draft did end up, do you think it was the plan all along from Yellow Submarines to have the Undying as the 5?
Yeah, I would think so. I think Sakura is a player who is very much the traditional 5, who has been, for the most part, playing the most meta heroes in the patch. So I think them picking up the Undying 5 there is probably just locking in his hero early on. I don't necessarily think there was much flexing going on there. But so far, start for Yellow Submarine here on both the lanes.
Yeah, top lane's looking pretty easy here for Bottega. And Shakoda's doing a good job. Make sure he gets the space. Got some good damage down onto Jakoda, but he's chilling. He's got 9 stick charges, plenty of mangoes ready to play with, so he can continue to spam the decays. And down on the bottom lane, also not too bad of a time here for Got the Juice. It's not getting contested or pressured that heavily by Infernal or Loopsy so far. And I guess that will remain the case, right? The Lifestealer was just super safe down here against these two.
Yeah, I think the more levels he gets, the more safe he becomes. I think if he were to be bullied, it would have been the first few levels. I think once he hits level 3, gets that bracer going, maybe the boost of speed, then at that point I think he's not really going to be able to be touched anymore. At the same time though, you will also see the mag. Like Lifestealer doesn't necessarily pressure mag that much also, so mag will also be able to get his farm.
Yeah, should be able to be on track to get good progression in towards the Blink Dagger timing. Unless we see some of the rotations come in. Mid lane, so far, pretty much dead even here between these two. Obviously, the puck was picked up Niku in response to the Ember Spirit. More so because of the fact that they're going to have that Dream Coil in the mid-game and late stages to lock down the Ember, have a chance of catching him. But yeah, as for the lane, both getting pretty easy farm out of this.
I wonder if the... Oh.
He does get a good call off, but yeah, not quite enough there. So Shikoda will survive.
One of the mid matchup Ember Puck has changed a bit with the introduction of facets and the fact that Ember doesn't go for the double strike facet anymore. He goes for like the more scaling, perhaps chain gang, right? That doesn't necessarily help him in a lane phase. So this matchup perhaps is not as bad as it used to be. We also see that reflected in the CSR here.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because we did definitely see some Embers, really did quite the number against Pucks in the matchup. But yeah, it's just too hard to not take this chain gang nowadays, right? With 4 units on a searing chains, it could be pretty insane in the fights.
Yeah, the potential there is too big.
Still, slightly slower farm for Inferno, but not by much. All cores really getting what they're after in the lane. We'll see a bit of an attempt down bottom maybe. Pings are being made. And we've got the Juices, got the Rage. Still going to be able to try and get a hit in with the Shadow round, but yeah, actually getting the chance for a kill proving to be pretty difficult for the teams in these laning stages and laning setups. A bit of a move over towards the mid here for Shikoda. He's just going to maybe pick up some of the XP whilst Morel takes the walk back to base. And they might try go for him. Well, Zayat's around. Still a little bit unappealing diving in for an Undying, so nothing to be found here.
Actually, with this, with the curveball as well, you have 2 ways of abusing your innate puckish, right? That's gonna continue to give you mana and HP back from dodged attacks. So we just saw Nico there dodging an attack with the Illusory Orb from the tower, and then right after that using Phase Shift as well. Obviously, this hero, if he's allowed to do that, how are you gonna kick this guy out of lane, right? He's gonna have infinite resources. Bot lane mag almost going down there. Oof, very close. Gonna have to make the trip back.
Lipsy was trying to chase back at an attempt for Riddies, but not going to happen. Got the Juice, continue to remain strong. See what we get around this first rune. It was just the illusion rune, so nothing too exciting going to be coming out from the puck quite yet. We're going to see the stack start to get cleared here by PM8.
Access 6 already, pre-7 minutes. Gave him a lot of solo XP. Sayak was like moving towards mid, stacking a lot, and now also clearing out the stacks here. So nice macro game from NAVI Junior. You can even see Sayak stacking another camp here, and the Ancients too.
Yeah, this is going to give him really solid timings on this blade mount for PM8. It's going to make it pretty difficult for Yellow Submarines to fight into them. If PM8 is able to just step up, get a position for the call. I've got good follow-up as well. And as long as Niku's going to be ready with TPs. As this is going to be an incredibly farmed Dax. Top CS right now off the back of clearing those jungle stacks.
Yeah, it seems like nothing is really going to stop this from continuing to ramp up, right? Seems very hard to kill this guy. It seems hard to stop him from taking the stacks. So yeah, we might potentially see PMA pop off this game with this good of a start on Axe.
Yeah. No, I think so. Yeah, because just for grabbing waves. We could even pull them into the jungle, start clearing some of the enemy's camps as well if he wants to. I don't think he's going to be feeling too much under threat up here. They just have to bring up a lot up here if they wanted to try and do anything. I mean, the big difference as well we're seeing is, you pointed out how high his levels are. Of course, on the other side, how sort of low Infernals are. Right? You've got level 4 Magnus right now in comparison to the level 7 Axe on the other side of the map.
Yeah, good point. You see Riddies get the first body and Ember also breaks the coil.
So if Morel could get out, we'll be able to get out with the Spirit. So they get the 1-for-1. But indeed, Riddies there on the Ringmaster, able to secure the kill first before he goes down. These little things adding up, giving NAVI Junior this little bit of an early game lead.
The fact that Axe is such a strong laner and can clear stacks so easily is like, you might think Mag can do the same, but he needs so much more levels and empower, right? And he doesn't clear at the same speed, so maybe this is also why Axe is such a popular hero right now, that he just always has this type of game, and he's very hard to shut down.
I guess if you look at the lineup as well, right, it is ultimately what, 4 melee heroes, and you know, trying to sort of burst and poke the Axe, it's not going to be difficult to sort of, no, it's going to be difficult to take him down 100 to 0. So just dealing with him at any stage is not going to be fun. We'll see if they're able to get any sort of itemization online to kind of mess with his game. You know, see if someone wants to buy Yules sometime soon or earlier on, so they can at least, you know, kind of take him out the fights and hold him back when he does inevitably just start charging them down and getting in right into the center.
Also see the way Zayak is playing is creating a lot of space for his team. Like, he constantly starts roaming mid, walking into their jungle, and it's very hard for them to kill him. Like, he already has 1000 HP with the Lotus, so for them to kill this bat, they have to bring, I mean, they have to bring all both supports and the Ember, right? And even then, it's not necessarily that clean. So I think he's doing a lot right now. Are getting a haste for the Ember though here, so maybe that's an opening for Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, sitting back definitely doesn't feel too good for them right now.
Oh, Undying spots the stacks here.
I mean, can they do something about this? I feel like you might even want to bring like 4 or 5 heroes over, right? This is like, it's a pretty big job.
Yeah, I don't think you can't really kill it. There's too many Ancients, I think. Maybe you can get some kills on some heroes, but it does seem Navi Junior are very aware of the fact that Undying saw this. They even have a ward right now, spotting out everything.
And we'll see in the mid. Good jump forward here with the Remnants. Morel's able to swing across and take down Zayats, as Navi Junior did try and attempt to poke at Lupsi in the mid. But good moves from the Embers to swing back over and help out. Make sure that Navi Junior don't find the kill.
Yeah, interesting to see how this whole battle for the stacks is gonna end up playing out. It feels like if anyone tries to attempt to kill it, you know, it's probably the team who's gonna suffer for it. Especially if Yellow Submarine is around when that happens.
Let's have a look. Once again, Shikoda, he's actually going to drop the tombstone.
Okay.
All right, they're definitely showing that they want to try and fight around here. As you said earlier, killing the stacks doesn't really seem to be on the table for Yellow Submarine. I mean, they do have like 4 heroes around, but I don't think they're getting in on this. The tombstone's just going to end up getting farmed by Nico and the puck.
And now they're just giving out the stacks, right? Because now you don't have the tombstone. Okay.
I mean, I guess they felt that they had to try and do something, but I think in reality, as what you mentioned earlier, there really was just nothing they could do. Even though they had that information, they saw the stacks. Maybe they sort of just had to suck it up and say, well, let's just focus on getting as much as we can out the rest of the map, because we just don't really have the tools or the heroes to get up there and do anything about this.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true. Like, this was probably going to be the outcome regardless. Of course, it was a optimistic attempt to the tomb, maybe thinking that, okay, we can at least clear the hard camp perhaps with this. Sure. But yeah, when Navi Junior bringing all 4 heroes there in that position, it seems impossible for Yellow Submarine to really stop this from happening without feeding a bunch of kills as well, right? So it's better to just get out of there and concede the stacks.
Yeah, I imagine the best sort of point of action is to just try and get Infernals, Blink Dagger timing in line with that of the Axis, so that they at least themselves have some sort of counterplay, some sort of jump for the team fights. Because yeah, with the way those stacks were cleared, PMA, it's just about a stack or 2 away of having this Blink Blade Mail phase boots timing, which is going to be insanely fast on the Axe and very difficult for Yellow Submarines to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. That's so early. They are going to look at punishing the bat here. Actually,
yeah, easy
solo kill here. For
nice solo play there for Lupsi, yeah. He's got the combo, can lock him down, and easily got the damage there with the Bedlam.
Okay, so we actually also have a Blink Dagger for Mag, first item here, coming up shortly. So obviously you don't have a Blade Mill on top of that, but that gives the Yellow Submarine a way to fight back at least into the Axe. So a scenario perhaps where Axe jumps calls, you have the RP to follow up, right, to counterplay that.
Yeah, and they do have really good follow-up on the side of Yellow Submarine as well. You know, if they get this sort of RP into the avalanche of Bottega and then this sort of Willow combo coming down, it is a lot to punish NAVI Junior if they get a little too grouped up themselves. But from what we see from NAVI Junior, they're a pretty tight team. They don't seem to make those sort of mistakes in the mix of a team fight. So it's going to be hard for the Yellow Submarines to find that opportunity. We see the smokes coming up from both of these teams, of course, in timings with the releases of the Blink Daggers on both of their offlaners. Well, see who can find who. At the moment, both seeming to kind of avoid each other. Heading up towards Zayats up top. Not really the biggest of catches, but I guess Yellow Submarine will sort of take what they can right now. They do see the courier. I guess, okay, yeah, he still missed the relic, so yeah, it would not have been worth revealing to snipe the Talisman Evasion. They'll settle for the jump top, and we'll get Zayats there with the Blink Dagger reveal from the Magnus. It's something, but of course not something that I think is going to shake NAVI Junior up too much.
For sure. I think also more importantly, they don't get punished by the Blink Blade Mill Axe, right? And end up in a really bad scenario, giving away of stuff. So I think also that was a pretty cool movement across the map, but both teams ended up pretty much making the same play with their own timing of the Blink Dagger, right? And it was completely mirrored, the timing. So interesting. So not something that you perhaps see that often, that it's the timing hits that clearly.
Yeah, no, it really was. It really was. See some pressure from NAVI Junior, getting the tier 1 tower down bottom pretty low. They will finally catch on Shakoda. Dunk for PMA. They can continue to keep the pressure up down here, claim the tier 1 tower. And of course, continue to maintain all of their tier 1 towers, all looking in pretty good shape right now. And NAVI Juniors, Yellow Submarine, not really being able to find the chance to get any sort of pressure going themselves. And,
yeah, we talked about we want to see aggressive games. We kind of have aggressive games in a way, but there's also a lot of farming going on, right? A lot of avoiding each other. We haven't really seen any team fight occur yet. Of course, both teams want to make sure that they're the ones getting the proper initiation.
Still continuing to try their best to keep their tier 1s up alive in the mid lane. And further blinks coming out soon. Zayats on the bat. We'll have his very shortly.
Yeah, Puck as well. Closing in on his.
Actually, they're going to have the triple blink on NAVI Junior's lineup. Pretty early as well.
They are. They're also gonna. I mean, when they get their Blink Daggers and the Radiance on Lifestealer, I think it's time to start 5-manning and start forcing these fights a bit more aggressively than what we've seen so far. Like, NAVI Junior has gotten strong timings with the Axe Blade Mill, but they haven't exactly tried to open up the mid tower, right? They haven't tried to invade the jungle very aggressively. So I think the Radiance timing should be the time to start doing that. And then what do we have on Yellow Submarine to kind of counteract that timing? Tiny, not really any clear timings for this hero, but he does have the shard, so he's very tanky, so he can fight back.
Yeah, if he's able to turn up and get an Empower coming in from Infernal, that can be able to hit pretty hard. We'll see them try and go on PMA, but PMA's just going to stand his ground, get the call, they'll get the follow, they'll look for the RP, but the taunt hits in time to push back the Magnus, don't get any RP off. The fear will come in from Loopsy, it's going to try and run them down. Now the RP comes into place, but got the juice, he's perfectly fine, he can walk this off. The dunk comes out from PMA to clean up Loopsy, and they can go in for more. They get the jump, the lasso onto Bottega, got the juice, making sure they bring him down. They'll skew him to the side. The Tiny, can he get out? He cannot. Zayats ticks him down. They get the cool control onto Morel. Can he jump out of this? He can't. The dunk comes in before he can jump over to the Remnant. The Yellow Submarine, they try to fight this, but they just get completely controlled there at the start. The call coming in, and then with a Wheel of Wonder laid down, it's kind of mid-animation there from Magnus trying to get the RP off, but the pull at the wheel comes in, and he's not able to get that perfect follow-up they needed.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was also a very, very close fight, actually. Axe initially missed his blink in, but somehow gets the 2-man call anyways, and the 3-man Wheel of Wonder, absolutely destroying them.
Yeah.
Ember also didn't manage to get there in time. He came in all the way towards the end and just died. So I think that was also the deal breaker. The fact that Ember was not ready to cast spells from the beginning made a huge difference there.
And it was very much a great control coming in from Lupsi, but indeed just with the remainder of the Wheel of Wonder controlling the rest of his team into the Dream Coil that came out from Niku, it just meant that Yellow Submarine as a whole couldn't capitalize on the fact that Lupsi on the Willow did get that lockdown onto the rest of Na'Vi Junior. So everything not quite falling into place as much as Yellow Submarine would have hoped for there. Na'Vi Junior getting that little bit of a team fight win and now up to a 5k advantage, and obviously the thing they've got to worry themselves about next time in the next team fight. Look at got the Juice. Next fight, he's going to have the Radiance on him. So if they're not able to make that quick jump, get those quick kills, the Lifesteal is just going to be able to win out those sustained team fights.
Yeah, for sure. I think also the fact that they're losing these fights means that the Ember and the Magnus starts dropping in net worth, right? They really need to kind of win these fights to make it up, I think. And I think also Axe, just being such a strong hero, he's going to have BKB very soon as well. With the Radiance, I fear for the Yellow Submarine's ability to fight back. They definitely need to be all ready with their spells at once the jump's called, or it's going to be very hard. We have another smoke here, and this is the Radiance timing.
Well, let's see what they've got with this. This could get pretty messy for Yellow Submarine. They're going to get caught here. Lupsi gets jumped. They get the lasso on a Shakoda. It's the two supports instantly dead. Definitely proving it's only going to get more difficult for Yellow Submarine. I mean, what is the plan? I feel you've got to keep trying for some sort of smoke plays around the RPs, right? You've got to look for some sort of action to catch Na'Vi Junior off guard.
It just feels like it's hard to start the fight as Yellow Submarine in comparison to Na'Vi, right? Na'Vi has so many tools of starting the fight, and even if you catch somebody, like who are you really gonna start the fight on? You almost has to catch the Axe first, or the call is gonna come in, right? Or the pocket count initiator is gonna come in, or the escape Axe gonna come in. I don't know. I think it's very hard for Yellow Submarine to start the fight. We are gonna see them smoke up here to look for something, but this is already after the Tormentor, and now. And you see why the Tormentor is so important. Already up to 9k net worth lead now.
This is going to be difficult.
Can they kill the Nakes?
Would be quite the nice kill. And he's got the Rage. They do have the RP ready if they want to, but he's able to get into the creep, and it's already become too awkward for them. They know that they can't mess around with him. The backup's coming in for Na'Vi Junior. Yellow Submarines, that they have to start backing off. We'll see the Yules from Lupsi at least hold back PMA as PMA try to get the call. We'll see the lasso coming. Zayas, he's still able to jump in, get the lockdown follow up here with Berserker's call from PMA. So Na'Vi Junior still able to get a kill. The rest of Yellow Submarines, they've got to continue to back off. They can't push forward for more. I mean, got the Juice. He was just able to step up, pretty much just start farming a creep wave. Just going to show how impossible it feels to make any sort of play onto the lifesteal, even when he is out on his own.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, unless Tiny is there to right-click during the RP, they really don't have the damage to bring down this lifesteal, right? Yeah. It's all this chip damage. Maybe if Willow is there with his ultimate, there's a bit more damage, but the damage doesn't really come from anyone except those two. You have slow damage from Ember, slow damage from like Undying, Mag. Where you have to get off multiple rounds of spells, but at that point, the lifesteal has already clicked Rage. He's already clicked Ultimates, right? The TPs are already coming in from Na'Vi Junior. So, yeah, it looks very challenging for Yellow Submarine to play the game right now. I think they have to perhaps look at trying to drag out the game, play more of a split map with the Ember, with the Tiny, and just try to get as much farm as they can out of the map.
We'll see what sort of plan of action they do play for now. Those last few moments have not gone too hot for them, Yellow Submarine. Na'Vi Junior very much in a solid position right now. Pretty early on here, 22 minutes into this game one. We'll see themselves go for a smoke. They know that they can look for plays wherever they want to here with the jump of the two of them, Zayats and PMA. Niku ready to join as well. Whoever gets caught is going to look very dead. Shakoda. They've got eyes on him. They'll be able to claim his life. See if they can get the dunk. 14 coat of blood here on PMAs. They'll get the pressure onto the tier 2 top. Unlikely the Yellow Submarine are going to be able to do anything about this. They're probably just going to have to let these out tier 2 towers go.
Yeah, I mean, Undying is like the best case scenario, I would say, for Yellow Submarine. You could see that Nico was even looking at this Undying for a while, thinking, should we kill this guy, or should we try to fish for a different target deeper on the Yellow Submarine map? But they decided to just take the tower, and then I don't know, it doesn't seem like they're actually going to be able to take this tier 2 top. The glyph sort of pushing them away from it. Looks like they try to defend bottom instead, perhaps. But yeah, we do see Yellow Submarine maybe trying to not fight into Navi right now, in the same fashion as we saw earlier.
I'll see how much they're able to avoid it. There's Navi Jr. coming down the mid lane and getting the call. Shikoda caught once more. Definitely the one sort of taking the brunt of these plays that Navi Jr. are making.
I mean, the problem is also for Yellow Submarine is that they didn't even get to take this bottom tier 1, right? Even though there were no Navi Junior heroes around. And the reason for that is that there's so much catch on the Navi Junior, right? If you show, you can get lassoed, you can get caught, you can get jumped by axe. There's just so many ways to die in this game when you show on lanes. So there really isn't any other way for Yellow Submarine to play the game except for fighting back. And that's, like we talked about, it's also very difficult. So they're kind of in a tough position here, but they do try to look for something in mid lane here.
Let's see what we've got. Oh, the call's there from PMA. It's another one.
And if you think about the implications of how that works out, the Yellow Submarine cannot really show on lanes without dying, right? But that also means that they're going to be missing off the map, which means Navi Junior more or less know where Yellow Submarines are at all times.
And down bottom. They get the opening onto Bottega. He's going to go straight for the TP out, though, and with the 2 lockdowns already used, he'll survive.
All right.
Now maybe they could get Riddy's hit. So then Riddy's, he's got backup coming in for him. They're having to try and drop a lot to kill this Ringmaster. The call comes in, Riddy's, he's going to survive. They'll come up with a combo, looking to try and punish the act. They get the RP off as well. It's enough to bring down PMA. Can they bring down the rest? They'll get Zayats. The Dream Coil's been dropped down onto the 3 of them. But it's absolutely a bit of a punch back there from Yellow Submarines. And a massive kill to get there, bring down PMA, and it is Bottega who gets the hit on that. So a lot of money going the way of the Tiny. We'll see them try and chase the Tiny down. He's still got the dust on him, but it's going to wear off. So Bottega, he'll get out of that. So for all things said and done that we've seen so far this game, very much a little bit of something there for Yellow Submarines.
For sure, some sign of hope there. Also the fact that Tiny TV is out of bottom and he was so tanky, so hard to bring down for Navi Junior. That gives them a bit of a way to play around it, and a bit of hope that this Tiny can potentially be the difference maker and the carry that they need to win this game. I think they can also fight back. I think if there is a team fight like we just saw, right, where they can get to cast their spells, they have good spells, like we talked about. The problem is that it's hard to start the fight for them. But if it ends up in this type of scenario where it's like very brawly, very random, like there's not a clean initiation for Navi Junior, suddenly it's a very different scenario for Yellow Submarine.
Absolutely, yeah. If Yellow Submarine's able to set up the fight in any sort of way that's going to allow the Tiny to just step up and start getting the hits in, they can still try and punch back at Navi Junior, despite the large lead that Navi Junior have. Navi Junior, they will be able to secure themselves the Roshan, though. They will have that Aegis ready to go for the next team fight. And it's going to go the way of Scott the Juice.
Speaks to Navi Junior playing very clean and very fast, you could say, and very. It doesn't deter them that they lose a couple of heroes. They just now they know no RP, we can go Roshan, right? And just capitalizing on that, not really losing any net worth lead despite losing a couple of heroes there.
Of course, pressure on Shikoda to make these clutch tombstone saves here with the Blink Dagger in the team fights. could be the difference maker if he's able to save whoever gets jumped by the axe or the Bat Rider.
Yeah, that was also a big factor last fight, right? The fact that they could save the Tiny up and Tombstone. Could be a very nice way to bait somebody, get the Tombstone down, hit the RP, right?
Down bottom. And we got the call onto Bottega. Trying to take him out, but he has got backup. The Dream Core's going to be there. BKB's partner get the RP off onto the two of them, but Bottega's already dead. And with the Tiny gone, they do not have a chance to follow up on the RP. PMA cleans up the two of them. I mean, it seemed like they were kind of fishing for that Yellow Submarine because they did have the two of them down there, but buying off a little more than they could chew, because even though they are kind of like the stronger two on the team, or at least they have that great synergy with the RP and the damage from the Tiny, it was a bit of a risky spot for them to be on the map. And one of the reasons why, as you said earlier, that it did look like they didn't really want to try and hit this tier 1, and that was with 5 of them before.
Exactly. That's really the problem of this game. When you're behind against a lineup like this with so much catch and damage, you know, you can't really get out on the map properly. You can really only hit jungle creeps, right?
That was a risky one that doesn't pay off for Yellow Submarine. Getting a little bit too relaxed after their success in the team fight in the mid lane, and now they're paying the price. NAVI Jr. pushing up. PMA continuing to rack up the kills here on the axe as he 7 out. Fantastic game, obviously largely off the back of the setup the Zayats was able to give him, but the stacks and the way they left the lane to himself. We'll see bottom. Oh, Infernal. Tombstone save will come out. But got the juice is going to try and work through that. Kill it off. The Wheel of Wands is going to catch Infernal as he comes out of the Tombstone. He's dead. The Mangus is gone. They do have buybacks available. The Dream Core's going to get locked down with the two of them. Bottega trying to step up with the damage to bring down Niku. Niku is able to get the phase shift, jump out with the illusory orb. He's fine. They'll try and chase on for him, but Bottega is dead. No buyback on him. Morel's going to get caught by the lasso. The Ember's gone. He doesn't have the buyback gold either. They just don't have it in them to take these fights, Misery.
No, for sure. At this point, they're also so far behind, right? And you see the lifestealer being such a big problem for them to deal with in this game.
Yep.
After, of course, the Axe and Puck show throughout, you know, now it really comes into play that they just don't have the damage to bring this lifestealer down when he starts hitting your buildings like this. Also, a little heads-up play by Riddies there, canceling the skewer with the Tame of the Beast. So that's something.
We'll see if they can put together one more fight here. Yellow Submarine. The middle racks and the bottom being taken away from them. The smoke's coming out. They'll have the Ember back in 10, but still 25 until they've got their Tiny. That's their main source of damage. The push continuing from NAVI Jr. Going to try for a wraparound. A little bit before, as I said, that the entire team is backing up. It's just trying to catch NAVI Jr. by surprise, but the attempt has been revealed, so NAVI Jr. know what to expect. The push continues. The Mega Creeps are out. And jump forward here, coming in from the Axe. And we'll try and play in response. The Tombstone save comes in to force the BKB at least out of the Axe. Oops, he's going to try and get away with the Shadow Realm. But the Impalement Arts will connect as well as these Battle Hungers taking him down. The heal comes in time. They're looking towards this lifestealer, but still has this Aegis for a minute, so not an appealing hero for them to try and make their last jump attempt on. Off to the side, Shikoda gets caught. Does have buyback available. Let's see what they can do here. Here comes the buyback, but the lasso's there, grabbing the two of them back. The Fear from Lupsi will push them back. They're focusing Bottega under the towers. They'll step up, get the call off. They'll be thrown up in the air by the shield, so they have the RP ult for the two of them, but it is game over. This first game will fall into the hands of NAVI Jr. Yellow Submarine looking a little bit out of their depth in this first game, Misery. This was a tough one. Action between them and NAVI Jr. Tips flying out already as both teams ready to roll here with this second game. And we'll see, of course, Axe, we had it pop off last game from PMA. Let's see if Yellow Submarines are able to enable Infernal in the same way this time.
Yeah, I think it does, in theory, like we talked about just now, seem like a harder game to pull off the snowballing Axe, right? Just because you are playing against the Warlock in lane, you're playing against the Monkey King mid that can rotate on you. But most Dota games I see nowadays, the Axe does win his lane. He does become top in the worth, and then it's a matter of what does he do from there. So let's see how this one plays out. Again, we have the 5-man smoke from both teams, setting up this type of you know, hard to break scenario where no matter what happens, you feel safe because you just know that if my smoke pops without me seeing somebody, well, then I need to run away, right? So gives you that the safety before the bounty rune spawning.
We'll see if they want to do anything about the fight around the bounty runes as Loopsy and Mirella watching this bottom one. I'm going to try poking a little bit. I'm going to shield crash out of the Sprout. Yeah, no blood to be found, just the 2 for 2 on the bounties. As we'll settle into the lanes and see how some of these matchups go. So this mid matchup in particular, right? You know, Navi Junior obviously settling to have Niku play the Monkey King in the mid. Is this one that could get pretty rough for the Tiny, or can the Tiny do all right?
I think it definitely has the potential to be pretty rough. Like, you give away too many stacks of the Jenku, you might be able to, you might just get out denied, especially by level 3. I think it could be really rough. At the same time, though, if Tiny manages to, like we see right now, for example, with him just getting multiple denies with his tree.
He's feeling good about that first wave.
Able to do it fine.
Throws a tip out the way at the Monkey King. And definitely one that Niku plays too aggressive. You know, maybe Mirrell's able to catch him under the tower with the combo. You've got to be careful how far you do try and push your advantage as the Monkey King in this matchup. And Niku ready to throw a tip back out his way as Niku gets a good few denies in a row back. So both mids kicking it off, heating up in the mid lane with this first wave of CS. We'll see top. Is there a chance for sort of the Axe and Nature's Prophet to put pressure onto the Doom, or is it's just pretty much impossible with the backup of the Warlock up here?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard. He even got the mana aura, so they're gonna have infinite mana in this lane. Like 2 mana regen actually for this Warlock early on. Right? He's pretty much gonna be able to cast his Shadow Word off cooldown. I think looking at this lane in general, I think it's a very strong combination with Warlock Doom. Seems very hard to shut this type of lane down in the lane. And they also have the aggressive potential themselves, right? With the Scorched Earth and Infernal Blade, so...
Yeah, they can turn and kill. Especially for Loopsy, right? Loopsy's got to be so careful. If this Nature's Prophet gets caught out of position, it's going to be in big trouble. Bottom lane, how you can imagine things are going to go down here for Bottega on the Sven? Is this also a pretty easy safe lane, or a little tougher for him on this side?
I think Sven's going to be pretty happy. Not too much aggressive potential coming out of Pangolier Ricky, but at the same time, I think Pangolier is a deceptively strong laner, and Ricky will not take that much XP, kind of like we saw lane where Sai was playing bad, and he just gave solo XP to PMA for the most part. I think that's what we're going to see here as well. So we're going to see Pangolier over-leveled and the Ricky being, of course, lower level, but it's not going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things. So I think Pangolier should be very happy going into this lane.
Mid, so far, continue to be pretty even. And Morel's going to have these creeps coming in under the tower. So if anything, putting him a couple ahead. So doing well so far against the Monkey King. So no straight up beat down. And first blood will end up going the way up top. Loopsy does end up getting run down. And just before they did lose, but got the juice. But of course, he did go down to the neutral creep. So they don't even get anything from that. Unfortunately, there for Yellow Submarines, as Navi Junior are able to get everything and give nothing.
That was a intentional creep aggro from the Doom, causing this to happen. It wasn't just a random neutral creep coming and stealing the frag. It was actually the Doom pulling the aggro from the Axe, right, onto the neutral. So that was really well done by the Doom.
Yeah, super heads up. Got the juice straight back to lane. Not missing out on too much of the farm. Also able to secure the Lotus. Keeping himself in a very solid spot to start this top lane off. We'll see bottom. Going to try and go for Zayats. They get the block off. He's going to try and get under the tower in time, but the right click from Shikoda will do it. But they are able to ensure that they can get themselves a kill on the board there with that rotation, bringing in a second support down bottom to try and set up for that play. A little bit of something there for Yellow Submarine. Still overall farm, very even once again here. All cores not not getting zoned out or having too tough of a timer in these first few waves. So if that continues to stay solid, but it's definitely a game where I feel we're going to see more movement from the teams. Obviously with the Nature's Prophet support, Loopsy's going to be all over the map if he sees opportunities. And both of these mids, once they sort of hit that first timing, they're likely to turn up to any sort of action that goes down near either of their side lane tier 1 towers.
Yeah, Monkey probably being one of the more aggressive mids that you can have in Dota nowadays. I think when he gets level 5 to 7, something like that, you know, he just starts roaming around the map, giving up the... Maybe not this game as much, giving out the mid lane, but at least, you know, he's very fast around the map. So we saw the nice little glyph there used by the Tiny. So basically Nico faking out the stun on the creeps, getting lifesteal from Jingu, but Tiny glyphing and but Nico, you know, faking the stun, so actually not getting the lifesteal. But I think this is around the time where it starts getting rough for the Tiny. He can't really come up without giving away the Jingo stacks.
Yeah, pretty much seeing that play out. And we are starting to get the stacks, of course, coming out on Yellow Submarine's side as they do prepare for Infernal to be able to have that big boost, the same way that PMA did on his axe in Game 1. I mean, this time around, do you imagine Navi Junior will have any ways to sort of look towards contesting the stacks that they know are going to be being created for the axe?
It depends how early the... Oh, okay, is that? Okay.
Nice little toss there to finish off the job in the mid.
Alright, nice rotation from the Furion. Maybe not what you would expect, level 2 Furion coming in and making such a big difference there, but nice done. He didn't even TP, he just walked over. But yeah, in terms of the stacks, I think the Warlock Golem timing is gonna be very powerful here, right? So you gotta be very careful fighting into that. You know, he's already level 4.5, has the book to be able to even ramp that up if need be, and I think that with that in combination with a high level Doom and Monkey King, they could definitely you know, contest these stacks.
On bottom, PMA trying to make the solo play there onto Shikoda, but doesn't quite have enough in the tank to burst him. Top lane. Oh, got the juice. My goodness, nearly goes down there, but ends up surviving between the one charges and the Shadow Word, as he will live and the two of them take Infernal down.
Yeah, very different game of Axe now, right, compared to the last one. First of all, he just died, of course, but he also has to go for the Vanguard build. And not the Face Boots Blade Mail, right? Which is gonna slow down his farm and his aggressiveness a lot.
Well, Niku, I mean, Loopsy was chasing him. Niku just turns and kills him. So a little unfortunate there for Loopsy, who was following Niku up to the top lane, but ends up in himself dying. They did want to try and contest around the 7-minute Wisdom rune. They get both of them. You know, Briddy's being able to step up and take the Wisdom Shrine away from Yellow Submarine.
Oh yeah, this is definitely this is very rough. You're gonna have level 6 on Doom and Warlock very shortly here at closing on 8 minutes. They're probably gonna be available, and then it's all in Navi Junior to be aggressive. Axe might not be able to stay in this lane anymore. He might just keep getting ran at. We have actually a gate play by the Warlock, so maybe they're gonna look to be aggressive on the bot lane instead here. Monkey King also rotating over.
I mean, this sort of pressure, it's kind of making it awkward for Bottega, right? Because he doesn't want to be in the lane. He tries to back up and clean up some stacks, but he's having to be very aware of Zayas, who's just sort of been hunting him down, trying to mess with him, and as he tries to find some sort of space in the jungle. It's not easy. Yeah,
that's kind of one of the weaknesses of Sven, is if he loses his tower early on. That doesn't really feel good. He wants to stay down there as long as possible, keep cleaving in the creeps and farming the jungle back. Looks like they're not really gonna... They're definitely gonna walk over and try to contest this a bit, but I fear if they stay down here too long, they're gonna have to fight into roll and Warlock ult, and that's really problematic at 8 minutes in.
It does seem like a pretty dangerous part of the map. See how much they want to try and hold on to this. The golems at the ready. They'll drop it in. They'll try and push them back in with a whip, but it doesn't catch on to PMA, so he can continue to push on, take Bottega down. And I think you're right, Misery. This just was not a place to be right now.
Yeah, it's like it looks at least pretty obvious from our point of view that, ooh, can you really stand down here at the tower without them going on you? You also see what we talked about earlier, the fact that Pangolier getting the solo XP means that he's level 7, right? And Sven is only level 5. So that even though Sven has high CS, you know, the level difference is just massive here. And that's kind of what ended up happening here. The level 6s from the Navi Junior just coming in earlier and taking down this tower early on. So, you know, this could be even a quicker game than what we saw last game, I think. The snowball potential is very big here for Navi Junior.
They'll try with a setup on the mid. They'll get the toss back into the fear. And they have the wraparound from Lupsi. Sprouts out. They'll be able to control him here. Do they have the damage to kill him off? He jumps to the side. He's been healed up by the Shadow Word. They couldn't kill him.
Oh,
he'll survive here. Using the changing of the guard, of course. One of the recent changes here for the Monkey King. He's just so slippery in this ultimate.
That's actually one of the first times I've seen this be that effective. Also so early on, right? Like such a massive save for himself there. Also just the level 4 Shadow Word coming into play so early on as well, being a big deal breaker here for Navi Junior.
It's gotta feel rough. Like they felt so close to killing this Monkey King, a hero that is so important to try and slow down his game, and a hero that's going to be making these rotations up towards the top. They get the jump in. They got the Doom drop down upon him. Should tick down here as he's getting dove under the tower. Maybe he's actually able to live. Niku, can he chase this? No, he can't. Okay, the urn comes in, stops him from being able to jump forward.
He has a Boundless.
They're thinking about turning. The Boundless is there, though. My goodness, he's living on the edge here, Infernal. The toss comes in. Infernal survives. My man, he steps up. He lives. He gets away with it. Crazy stuff there from the Axe, but it pays off.
Yeah, that's a big moment there for Yellow Submarine. If Axe dies there, you know, instead they get the kill back and the breathing room now for Yellow Submarine.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I can start working on the blade mail. Done some rescue farming here on the edge, but yeah, with the Vanguard should be safe enough.
And the fact that he has to go the Vanguard, Face Boost and Blade Mail before the Blink also means that the Blink timing is going to be slightly delayed here. That being said, the Tiny is closing in on his, and he's going for it without upgrading his boots. So I guess that's a nice adjustment made by these two players, right? Knowing that, okay, I'm going to go Vanguard Blade Mail before the Blink, so Tiny, you're going to have to carry some of that weight early on.
We'll see what Tiny can do with this. Still trying to hover around up top, but this Observe Ward's gotten away with the full duration, giving a lot of information to Navi Junior and when it comes to whereabouts of Yellow Submarine. Sayat's continuing to just sort of sap XP here from Bottega as Bottega tries to make his rounds in the jungle. We'll see the Monkey King coming over here under the cover of the haste ring. It's a little too deep, though. They won't be able to try and make that play towards the Sven. Stick around the mid. So if they want to dive the mid, they look tempted. They're going to try for it. And with the screen and the Boundless Strike, but not enough knockdown. It might get punished for this now. The toss comes in. He'll be caught under the tower. He'll get the Wukong's command up, but the Wheel of Wonder locks him down. Niku again getting punished. You know, maybe getting a bit too aggressive that time around the mid lane and not respecting the toss back potential of the Tiny. They will lose Jakoda in return on Yellow Submarine, but very much a couple of times they've been able to kill off this Monkey King. Well, anytime it comes into play, they'll drop the Golem. They ain't messing around. They want this support Nature's Prophet dead, and they will get it. I'll see the jump forward again from Morel, who gets the toss back into the call. The damage coming in as well from the Sven. Is it enough, though? The shield, crash shield, keeping PMA safe. He's getting healed up as well by the Shadow Word. Inferno tries to step back in, but the dunk is not enough. Battle Hunger and the toss, though, will get the job done. They do kill PMA off. Respawn starting to come into play. See Zayas try and walk up to the high ground, but they were kind of prepared for him. He has to jump out here. See if he can continue to escape. Another combo from Morel. Bringing Zayats down low. The Shadow Word is healing him, though, and Zayats will live. Loopsy's able to TP off, shut off the escape of Riddy, so they'll punish the Warlock. I mean, Yellow Submarine very much showing that they're not afraid to fight, and they are tripping up NAVI Jr. I mean, the two big losses there being Niku going down at the start and then PMA going down towards the end of it, as they just dove a little too far.
That was like the perfect blink dagger reveal for the Tiny, right? He just picked it up, and then
he got so much.
The initial Monkey King kill happens, and the fight's continuing afterwards. Him getting, I don't know how many kills he got. He got maybe 3 or 4 kills off of that. So that was a very big moment for Yellow Submarine. Also, that was playing into the very strong timing of Pangolier Diffusal Blade, right? The Warlock had his Golem available as well, and I think if NAVI Jr. had been a little bit more patient, they could have collapsed with all their heroes on mid lane with the Golem, and the fight might have looked completely different.
Yeah, next timing, they can have the Radiance on the Doom on NAVI Jr. Yellow Submarine, they will have Blade Mail online for the Axe. See, over in the jungle, they find Zayats, so getting a bit better setup here. They're prepared for these sort of risky movements, so Zayats has got to be a bit more careful. Yellow Submarine, they're ready for him.
And again, we see the Axe, right? Climbing the net worth chart again,
yeah.
After having a rough game, and having level 12 now. He's so farmed again. Sven also having a good game now. This suddenly looks like a real game on our hands here. That could be a close
Absolutely.
one. Maybe NAVI Jr. are a little bit in trouble right now. It doesn't seem like they really have the damage, perhaps, to fight into all the tanky cores of Yellow Submarine. This might
they're going to try and turn up.
a little deep.
Look at the swashbuckle and shield crash onto the bow for them. Rolling Thunder coming in. That's going to be Lipsy going down. Infernal, he will get caught.
Okay, well.
That's a little bit deep there. I guess the two of them, they felt that they could go for that, but they were chasing that Warlock for quite a bit, and they were going pretty far for that chase.
Yeah, that was definitely questionable. Because like just as I was about to say that they don't have damage, of course if they dive so deep with 2 heroes, they can die, right? But if they are fighting 5-on-5, Yellow Submarine right now, they're very strong.
That was a bit of a rough one there, because it did feel, especially with sort of the Axe Inferno getting his timings, that he doesn't really need to go that super aggressive, right? He can just sort of try and farm up his Blink Dagger and just play responsively if anything goes down near his own towers, rather than making these sort of crazy chases deep into the enemy half of the map. Yeah,
it's also a combination of heroes that don't really have the necessary damage to bring down the Warlock, right? Between the Furion and the Axe.
Oh, look at the tower taken down in the mid.
I think the fact that the Axe didn't go Blink Dagger early, and that Yellow Submarine still has up their mid tower against Monkey King, Warlock. You know, the diffusal timing of Pangolier is a very big deal. It allows them to play the map more, less scared, and farm a lot more, right? You see them farming up their own jungle here, being able to receive mid lane here, and but on the other hand, though, we have the Doom, who's extremely farmed. He has the full Radiance, and now another Midas purchase flying out to him right now.
Oh, they're going to try and get the setup on him. So caught by the tag, gets caught in the court, but the backup comes in with the Rolling Thunder, and the Golem drop down over towards Infernal. Can they keep got the Juice alive? They can't. He will fall, and now the TP comes in from Bottega. As they clean up the two of them, can they get something more? They get the Avalanche connection in on towards PMA, tossing him back over towards the Sven. He'll try and break away with the swashbuckle. Wukon's command coming in from the high ground. Niku ready to jump down and fight back as PMA gets the space to retreat. It's going to be the death of the Sven, and now Yellow Submarines, they have to just retreat. See if they can chase here. Niku, he's got the boundless strike down onto Loopsy, but under the tier 2 he doesn't want to go for it. The Golem's going to certainly try for it. The Sprout is out, but the Golem's got nowhere to get in, so Loopsy will be able to heal up and stay safe there. Now this time around, Yellow Submarine, they try and make the fight happen. They turn up with their Sven, but NAVI Jr., they do get the cleanup ultimately.
Yeah, the what do you call it? The setup that we talked about during the draft happened there, right? Axe blinks in, or like calls the guy, and Warlock is just ready to throw everything on top of this Axe. And it was fairly close, but NAVI Jr. do end up killing off both Axe and the Sven in that fight. So big win for them.
Zion's keeping tabs on the mid. I won't be able to set anything up here.
We have boots of travel on Tiny. That's not normal, is it? I don't recall seeing this type of build. Usually it's phase boots, then yields perhaps, or the Echo Saber build, but the boots of travel is quite interesting.
Guys, I mean, I'm always a big fan of the early boost of travel, but it's definitely kind of the greedier move, unless you can make the plays happen. You know, he wants to be involved in every sort of play, any sort of fight that goes down. But if those fights start going rough, then that heavy investment definitely starts to hurt you.
Sakura just bought a gem at 19 minutes, actually. That's so early. It's on Tiny right now.
And he's going in. That's what the Wheel of Wonder is not going to connect, and this is not going to go well for them. They've got to try and get out. They'll lose Lupsi. Shikoda, he's going to get chased down as well by the looks of it. Is he able to live? No, Rolling Thunder's up there with the Diffusal Blade slow. And there's going to be both of the supports getting punished heavily for that, and Tiny has got an amplified damage rune. Same time around the mid, they're coming in with the TPs. They might be able to make a play with the call. They're in with the jump on and got the juice. The Shadow Word Heal coming in. Doesn't matter. They're in with the dunk. They take him out. And now to the side. They've found Zayat. Zayat's able to jump down to the low ground and get away just in time. So they lose their two supports, but they do manage to take down the carry in the mid.
Yeah, and maybe more things can happen here. The board is stuck in Sprout.
Well, there's another good rune here for the Tiny.
Should be able to... Yeah, he might. They do get the D-ward, so probably nothing more is going to come out of this. Tiny needs to be careful he doesn't lose his gem. That would be devastating.
Very close to having the force next, so positioning will be super easy for Morel. Highly likely that he's able to get in and look for these toss opportunities. TP's coming in on the top. Navi Jr., they're not afraid to fight. Doom's at the ready. They've got the Chaotic offering as well. They have these ultimates online, something that Yellow Submarine very much has to take into account. And they will, they'll back off. I got the juice very close to us next time. 3,400 gold in the bank. Let's got the SMY queued up. They can look to try and take the Tormentor here if they want to. Navi Jr. They've got a good hold of this area of the map.
Doesn't seem like Yellow Submarine are quite ready to defend this. Might not even be really thinking about it right now, as it does go down. 6k up now. Doom, even though he dies twice, he's this hero just printing money with this build.
Super tough to slow down this hero, especially when it's in the carry position. And one of the reasons why we're very much seeing teams like to run it as such nowadays. It's super far ahead on the item timings. So that SMY will be out for the next fight.
Also see the Monkey King going for straight Mjolnir, which I think is a good choice this game, considering how the early game didn't end up snowballing as much as you perhaps would have wanted, going for something else like Echo Saber or Diffusal Blade or Mage Slayer, whatever else you might go for on Monkey King. This build allows him to deal a lot more damage and of course just farm the map quicker, right? So you see his net worth is also ahead of both Tiny and Axe right now. Just taking the game perhaps a little bit slow is a nice adjustment, I think, from him. I think sometimes you can easily see the Monkey King being a bit stubborn and going for the Mage Slayer even though you make some mistakes early on, and then suddenly you stop farming and you also stop scaling as a result of that. Yeah,
your game can get absolutely ruined if you do try and take that sort of move, and as you say, don't have the sort of serious farming item online. So yeah, definitely feels good here for Niku with the timing that he's got. And yeah, just with the way the Yellow Submarine are playing in response, right? They don't seem to be too aggressive themselves. They are just ensuring that the timings can be hit here for Bottego on his Sven, which in turn is giving Navi Jr. also lots of space on the map to keep this farm going. And next thing you know, got the juice is pretty much going to have the BKB. They'll see a bit of signs of life up top, and they'll want to show up to this. So they come in with the TPs. The Yellow Submarine, they're starting to back away. Shikoda, he'll get completely torn apart. Tries to TP out here and fell in the tree line, but Niku's found him. Still have to be careful when making these sort of moves up here. This area of the map proving to be a space that Yeah, if you show yourself up here, Navi Junior will very quickly turn up and bully you out of it.
Try a bit harder next time.
Might also be a bit hard to understand for Yellow Submarine exactly how strong they are. Like, can they actually 5-on-5 into Navi Junior? Right, you have this BKB on Sven, sure, but you don't really have any big teamfight spells. You're staring down the Doom, you're staring down Warlock Golem, Monkey King ult. At the same time though, if you're Axe, you want to fight. You want to find kills on the map, right? Same goes for the Tiny and Ringmaster, Furion as well. But if Navi Junior are not giving you any openings, what is the game plan exactly, right? That's I think it's a bit hard for them to tell in the game how strong they are or how to actually, you know, play the map or you know, find a way to win this game in general. Like, what is the path to get ahead or to hit some sort of timing?
Has fallen.
I was trying to see maybe if they can get some sort of vision control around the dire jungle. We'll be able to at least knock that out away from Navi Junior, so force Navi Junior to be a bit more careful with what areas they feel confident farming in. Smoke's going to come out for Navi Junior now. They do very much want to try and use this lead against the Yellow Submarine with the fact that the ults are online, but Yellow Submarine are also, they're happy to look for this. That's definitely the biggest risk. The risk is that they're fighting into these big team fight ultimates. A lot of pressure on Infernal and Bottega to get big jumps with the blinks.
Yeah, this is where the Ricky gets so annoying, right? If you break him, Penguin knows.
Oh, they're going to get a jump in, but the Golem comes out in time. Rolling Thunder's there as well. The Wukong's command laid down. It's going to be Infernal dead in the midst of the Wukong's command. We'll see Bottega try and chase down the Warlock. Will kill Riddies off, but can he survive this? He cannot. Ends up dying for his efforts there, Bottega. Jump forward again from Mirel. Will be able to clean up a second kill as he picks up PMA at the end of the fight, but can he actually get out of this? They're trying to retreat here on Yellow Submarine. Lupsi, he's going to turn up and just sort of take the attention away, which will at least give the space for Mirel to run, but of course does cost Lupsi his life.
Yeah. Again, not really a clean jump from anybody there. And that's where the big teamfight spells are easier to execute, right? You just throw the Golem on the ground, throw the Monkey King ring on the ground, and let the nature of those spells just do the work. But I think it was very important that the Tiny got out of this fight. If they also had lost the gem, it would have been even worse.
Oh, Tiny's been greedy.
He might get caught here.
Oh, that was... Oh, no. He's got teammates coming over. See if they can save it. The call comes in, but it doesn't matter. He's gone. Can they at least find Zayas in return? They can, so hey, you know what? It works out. It was all just a bit of a bait. Mirel says, you know, this was all part of the plan.
Yeah, it was. It was good for them, for sure. Now they're going to walk right into Roshan.
All right. I mean, that's...
Yeah, they have Sven ult. Okay.
They got Godstroke, yeah. They're going to head into the pit, so I'm sure they'll absolutely trade the Tiny's life for that. They keep the gem safe. They kill up two heroes, one being the Monkey King, the mid lane of their Niku, and they're going to get the Roshan. It all works out here for Yellow Submarine.
Dire's bottom tower is
Pretty crazy stuff. A little bit of a swing back. Still very much Navi Junior with the lock gold lead. But as we've seen, the potential for the Yellow Submarine to make plays, and as we did sort of see a glimpse of in that last team fight in the mid, that would cause a situation where they did get all the ults off on Navi Junior. If Yellow Submarine are able to make some sort of jump, you know, someone's able to find this Warlock, stop the Golem coming down, even though they are at a gold deficit, they've still got a fighting chance in this team fight, Yellow Submarine.
Right. So another point to make is that last game we saw Navi Junior with all the ways of starting the fight, right? You had the Puck, the Bat Rider, Axe. This time around, it's sort of reversed, right? We have the Tiny Blink Dagger now, we have the Sven Blink, the Axe. You have three ways of starting the fight. Very powerful ones too. On the other side, you don't really have that on Navi Junior this time around. So they are going to be playing much more reactionary. You know, relying on getting those golems, getting those saves from the Ricky, Cloud, things like that off instead. And that's a dangerous game to play, because you might just get bursted before you can even get your spells off at that point.
Grouped up down bottom, Navi Jr. Shakota's got to be careful how he shows himself.
Is under attack.
Nice little check there just to sort of see if the camp was there, has been cleaned up. So, seeing that it's cleaned up, he does know that Navi Jr. are in this area. They could try and set up and prepare for the Yellow Submarine because, of course, they have this Aegis on the Sven. So, sort of setting up for this smoke move coming in from Navi Jr. The jump's going to be made. Finds the stun on it, got the juice, but it's not really the target that he hoped for. The Rolling Thunder now comes into play. See what they can chase down here. Shakota is falling incredibly low. They jump in, they get the call off on it, got the juice, but the BKB's out, so not a lot of follow-up able to be thrown down on towards the Doom. PMA is going to bully Lupsi back underneath the tower. They've lost one of the supports. They're going to lose the second as the Boundless comes in from Niku. I mean, you can feel it there. Yellow Submarine, they did feel that with the little info they had, they could maybe try and set up to make a play happen, but it just doesn't end up working out for them.
Yeah, the Ricky making a big problem there for Yellow Submarine. He broke the smoke initially. Sven is kind of caught in the middle of nowhere, and both supports get exposed there.
Radiant are scanning.
Of course, that fight, not even all the ultimates having to be dropped down there by Navi Jr. Still with the Doom at the ready. Wukong's command good to go. Of course, Rolling Thunder as low as the cooldown is, it's going to be back up in less than 20 seconds. They're trying to step up a Yellow Submarine, still very much wanting to play aggressive whilst they have this Aegis timing on the Sven. We'll see the lead in, they get the setup. Call to follow up, they've caught Niku. It's a big catch, that's the Monkey King dead. See if they can get anything more. TPs are coming in now. Lupsi's going to get left behind. He's going to try for the TP out, but the damage is there from Got the Juice. They still might try and fight here, Yellow Submarine. Seeing if Infernal can find another action to get the jump back in. But Navi Jr. are playing it safe, keeping their distance on this side of the lane so that sort of jump can't come in from the axe.
Yeah, again you see the two blink daggers coming into play there.
And Bottega, still a minute and a half on the Aegis. Navi Jr. very close to having Nullifier online for PMA, so it'll make it that little easier for them to focus down these heroes. Once the BKBs are gone, we're very close to the Octarine, so we'll have that there's sort of multiple chances of getting combo after combo off in the team fights as long as he can get in and out.
The fact that this Yule's Octarine core build was discovered, sort of, by for the Tiny, means that this hero has a very different way of scaling. He doesn't rely on the same way on getting those right clicks off anymore, right? Which I think makes the hero a lot more flexible. And the Boots of Travel build has kind of worked out so far.
It has, yeah. Yeah. He hasn't slowed down. He's not been punished for it. He's only died the once this game, Mirel. And has had good involvement in the action that they've found. 12 of the 15 kills. He has been there for us, this Tiny. And still holding the game and not too terrible of a state at all. Sure, the gold lead very much there for Navi Jr., but definitely to be expected a bit with the Doom carry. And in terms of the map control, Yellow Submarine still holding on to their tier 1 tower in the mid. And again, as we've been seeing, it's just not afraid of looking for action. They will lose the Aegis here, coming down to the final 10 seconds on Bottega. So we'll see what they do after that. There's going to be a case of just sort of sitting back, trying to get the next round of items online, which Bottega's very close to. Pretty much has the money here to pick up the full harpoon. And just fighting into these big ults, though, is definitely the fear here for Yellow Submarine.
I think the nature of the Navi Juniors draft just that means that they can't really move out that much. Like we talked about before, the fact that Yellow Submarine has all the ways to initiate, it's not that easy for Navi Junior to clear that.
Look at the setup, but he's pretty tanky, Got the Juice. He's able to get the BKB off. They'll drop the Doom down onto Infernal. Can they get Infernal out of it? They're going to try and allow him to escape as Lupsi TP's in to create the distraction. He'll go for the TP out Infernal. He should be fine as he'll get himself out of the fight. Does mean the support's left behind, though. As in fact, Infernal, the ticks were enough in the base. He still ends up dying to the Doom in the fountain. And I'm back on the fight. But Got the Juice just turns and stands the ground against Bottega. Bottega tried to lead in, but did not have the damage to outdo the Doom. Lupsi desperately trying to find something, but Got the Juice drags him in with the harpoon, claims another. They do get 3 kills, but losing 4 themselves, and this time not able to take down Got the Juice. Yeah, this Doom comes out of that team fight. He's level 25.
Yeah, yes. That's pretty crazy, actually. I mean, the fact that you don't have the Sven ready to right-click when you jump the Doom means that there's just not enough damage, right? And also just seeing the way when Doom right-clicks back the Sven, it's like he's a Sven in his own right.
Yeah, he punches.
Yeah, he really does. He has the same numbers, damage numbers as the Sven does. Quite the hero.
I mean, that's crazy, especially because if you consider what the critical strike was, a 20% chance at 250% damage. You know, what the Daedalus, what's that giving him? It's 30% chance at 225% damage, so pretty comparable. You know, in terms of the effect of the crit and the chance of the crit, it's not far off. So, yeah, you got to be careful when you're getting up close and personal with this Doom, even if you are a Sven with a Daedalus. As we see the damage there again.
Yeah, it's quite crazy, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to be afraid of much at all. He's going to have Doom back up in 10 seconds. They're smoked up behind him. Yellow Submarine, I think after the way that last fight went in particular, they know... I mean, they've got to stop these ults coming out, but they've also got to try and find some sort of way of making sure that Got the Juice just doesn't destroy them all. With this incredible amount of damage that he's doing, this level 25 Doom.
They see the Doom again. And the Warlock, but no clean way of starting.
Rolling Thunder's in. They'll get the stun onto the two, and then they jump, and they get the Doom down on the walls to Sven. Botega's just immediately dead. And he's gone for 80 seconds. The Rolling Thunder clips on towards the Tiny. I mean, Got the Juice is just out of control now.
Yeah, I mean, how do they get caught on the low ground there? Like, completely caught off guard. Losing both Sven and the Ringmaster in the same jump from Pangolier. That is not what you want to happen.
It's just, yeah, but Got the Juice. He's just BKBs. If he just jumps, Dooms anyone now at this point, there is no saving them. They're guaranteed dead. And if he can do that against Botega, find the Sven each and every time these team fights, they just don't stand a chance at all in the team fights, Yellow Submarine.
This Doom is just, I mean, of course, he also has 8k net worth more than the Sven, right? But if you think about it, he deals a similar amount of damage as the Sven, but he's so much more tanky, right? He has all these auras. He's really just a better Sven, it feels like.
Yeah, 1,000 more HP. That's a lot to bite through. It's a lot to bite through. They'll take out the mid. They'll be able to swing up towards the top. Get the tier 2 here as well. Continue to grow their advantage in NAVI Junior. Bottom lane. Looking for a sneaky play here, maybe Infernal. Don't know if he can really do it on his own. Maybe with the creep wave. He's going to try. He's going to need a fair few spins. They do have the TP into the combo. It's enough. Can he get out as well? He can.
All right,
Not
nice
a bad
play.
shot there from Yellow Submarines. They find something.
The boots of travel 2 on Tiny there coming into play, right? TPing on the axe.
It's always very nice to have, and yeah, that sort of reduced channel time. Easily able to get there before the call comes to an end, so you can get that follow-up avalanche. NAVI Junior in with the smoke, though. They know how strong they are. They don't need to have everybody alive to make these moves. Got the Juice can find his target with the Blink Doom. The fight will be easy. They're kind of getting some information here with the Illusion Rune, and there's the jump forward. They found the Sven. They'll try and get him out here with the box, but the Doom's already been laid down. That's Bottega gone once again. Got the Juice just destroying them all. As the call will come out, doesn't matter. They can beat him down through it.
Oh, that's the fact that your Sven just dies in 1 second, man. That's real.
That's rough.
Yeah, it really is. And we also see them having the ways to start the fight now, right? With the Doom Blink Dagger and the Pangolier Blink Dagger. I mean, Pangolier was dead in this case, but it doesn't feel like it's a problem anymore for them.
Nah, this is all bottom lane. I mean, Got the Juice. He's ready to keep this going. And he goes. He's found Lupsy. Lupsy's going to get out with the TP. Nothing to break for the Sprout, so he will live. Able to escape from the power of the Doom. I think for sure, I mean, with the way this is playing out. I think the teams that are going to be going up against Navi Junior down the line, if indeed Navi Junior closes this up and continues to make this upper bracket run, the Doom's got to be at the forefront, I think, of your considerations with how well they play this as the carry.
Yeah, certainly. I do think that there's a lot of information out there on Navi Junior, considering they just played a long qualifier, a long open qualifier, things like that, where they have been playing a lot of the same heroes, right? Like we talked about the Ringmaster Warlock on the 5. They have been playing a lot of Doom as well, Pangolier. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see when the quote-unquote very clever teams, smarter teams start to have time to, prepare for Navi Junior. If Navi Junior has more up their sleeve once their core heroes are getting banned out.
Ready to push it. Doom back online. Nobody wants to step up. Whoever shows, they're just going to get completely destroyed by this Doom. But what do you do? Who's stopping this push?
He's even a building hitter. Look at him.
Well, it's just nobody can do anything. Is there any sort of items that they're trying to get closed up? Not really. Before they try and make a defense happen, they're going to have to let that bottom set go. In the mid, they've caught him again. Bottega, they'll try and get him out here with the box, but he's going to tick down for sure. As Bottega's out, they'll jump towards the Tiny. Morel's gone. He does have buyback available, but Bottega does not. The Sven down for 90 seconds. The buyback will come in from the Tiny. Look at the Wheel of Wonder controller. Hunter got the juice, but the Golems dropped down as well as the big old Wukong's command. Morel down a second time. They're ready to close this one up here. Try for a call here. They got the juice off the once. They're going to try with the buyback, but Morel's got it. It's just over. GG well played is called. Navi Junior will take this series.